Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be sexually assaulted as a child, grow up to overcome and be a leader in the organization in which you employ? My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be wealthy in all areas of their lives. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals, to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. You can follow us on Twitter at the Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing, and if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and please share this video. We have a group called the Nurse Nurturer on Facebook that you can also join to receive uplifting content for healthcare professionals. You can also visit us at our website at vpnursing.com. Our special guest today is Dr. Maria Gainey. So I didn't know that she was a doctor. So Dr. Maria Gainey is currently the Eagle Excellence Cultural Manager for Commonwealth Health, where she works in her passion, which is to serve and build people. She is the apostle of Street Praise Outreach, where she serves under the leadership of Senior Apostle Kenneth Gainey. She is married and has 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. She holds a Bachelor of theology degree, Master of Divinity, and Doctorate of Divinity. Dr. Gainey's objective is to serve people and minister to those who suffer mentally, physically, and spiritually, and to be a beacon of change for those who struggle with abuse and behavioral issues. So thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
So tell us about your role at Commonwealth Health. So what was your primary reasoning for going into this position?
Well, my role here is to unify cultures and to tear down barriers that try to keep us apart. And my primary reason for going into this position would be because it allows me to work in my passion, to build people and to open up their understanding that you have a purpose and plan in this life, that you wasn't a mistake, no coincidence. You are intentionally here, and it's for a reason and a plan, and to be a mentor to people, as you said before, to build them up in a way that maybe they haven't been built up, maybe they have low self-esteem, but to bring them into fruition of who they are and what their purpose is.
Yes, I think that's so important. I think that a lot of people don't understand that you were designed for a specific purpose. So
Yes.
understanding what that purpose is and figuring out what that purpose is hugely and highly important. And once you go to work in that purpose, then you don't feel like you're working, right? You feel like it's just an amazing event.
I
So I love that. So now, when we first talked, you told me about an experience that you encountered when you were young. So tell us about that experience.
Well, I really don't know how much in depth you want me to go in that, but when I was a young girl, my mother and my father had separated, and so then my mother had to take on a second job to support the family for extra income, and she was working on the weekends at this hotel cleaning. And of that hotel was a very prestigious man in the community, a pastor, and I would go with my mother on the weekends. I was a small girl, you didn't leave little girls at home. So I would go with her on the weekend. And one particular weekend, we was upstairs, and this hotel had a elevator. And back then, it would be someone that would have to work the elevator. And this man in question, he worked the elevator, and I was a little girl. I wanted something to drink. So he told my mother, I'll take her down on the elevator and downstairs to get her a soda pop. And so during the ride down, he asked me to give him a hug. And being a little girl, I didn't see anything wrong. And he grabbed me to hug me, and then he began to feel on me, and he lifted my chin up and he kissed me, and I was scared and I was nervous and I was shaking. And so as we got off the elevator, he did get me the soda pop. He acted as if nothing was wrong, and I was scared. I was scared to death, a doctor. And after he went back up, he asked me to go back up, and I said no, that I was going to stay down for a while. And I got on the phone, the downstairs phone, and I called my grandmother, and my grandmother sent my sister and my brother up to get me. And to make a long story short, it was really, really bad there for a while. We did report it to the police, but during that time, they wouldn't do anything because of his status. And I'm African American, and he was Caucasian, and things was different back then. And so they kept it hush hush. But needless to say, I carried that for a long time. I carried that scar for a long time. And sometimes I think even now, when I look at certain things and read certain things, that it comes up and I still have to shake it off, and ask God to help me overcome it. But I have forgiven him. But I would like to point out that years later, I met a young girl, and me and her became real, real good friends. And I would tell her some things, and she would tell me some things. And as I began to tell her my story, she didn't say nothing for a long while. But one day she asked me, doctor, she said, let me ask you something. She said, was this my grandfather that did this to you? And she called his name, and I just cried, and she cried, and she said, I knew. She said, I knew that it was him because he had did it before, and things had came up before. But needless to say, God put us together to help each other through that time. I was able to help her really forgive her grandfather, and she was able to help me see some things for that I was able to forgive him as well. But it's a terrible thing for a child to experience that. I went through terribly for years, and taking that into relationships and how I saw men, it was a terrible thing. And I would have to say that if it wasn't for God coming in my life, doctor, that I would have never got past it. I would have never got past it. It took a healing, as my CEO say, it took a healing from the inside out to forgive this man for what he had done. But I can truly sit here today and tell you, doctor, that I have truly, truly forgiven him, because I know that if I don't forgive, that God will never forgive me. And so that is just how I live about everything, not holding unforgiveness in your heart, no matter how bad a situation may be.
And that is so important, because God is the ultimate forgiver. And we it wasn't until I really understood that unforgiveness was eating the poison and expecting the other person to die, that changed my life. I
I
was
can,
like, well, okay, I'm holding on to this and you living your best life. And
yeah,
I need to stop holding on to this. I need for it to be over with. I need for it to be done with.
yeah.
And I just need to understand how to heal on the inside, and what you said. So like, I love that. So now, how has this helped or hurt you in your professional and personal life? I think you talked about it in your personal life, like it went into the relationships, but like in your professional life.
Yeah, it allowed me to meet people where they're at, because and to look beyond their faults and see their needs. That's how it helped me in my even in my professional life. Because listen, what it does is that it's ugly. Yes, it's ugly, but it's a sickness.
That's right.
It makes you feel bad, but it's a sickness. So even in my professional life, I can look at people and know that it's something going on deep on the inside of you that is causing you to act these ways. So that has helped me tremendously in my professional life and my personal life, because and just like I said, I would have to sum that up with, it allows me to look beyond your faults and see your need, because we like to focus on people's faults.
That's true.
We have to look beyond that and see the need. What's really going on here? What's really happening here? Let's get to the root analysis of this.
That's right. That's right. I love that. I love that. Now, who has impacted your leadership the most, and why were they so impactful?
Oh, that's so very, very easy. That would be my grandmother. That would be my grandmother. She instilled values in me at a very, very, very early age, and don't know why right now, but I feel like I want to cry. But she instilled values in me. She taught me how to read the Bible. She taught me how to pray. She taught me how to meditate. And mainly, she taught me how to forgive. She taught me how to forgive. She was very instrumental in me forgiving the man that hurt me at a young age. So that would be the one that has most impacted me. She was a leader in the community, and I never seen her step out of character when everything called for her to step out.
Because
You know what
that
I
would
mean?
cause you to step out of character
Yes,
right
that's
there. You messing
everything.
with my babies, right?
Yeah, that's my baby that you're messing with. And in fact, in her case, you're messing with my baby's baby.
Right. And I
And,
think that is very important for you to for her to have that forgiveness in her heart, because teaching you to forgive it is one thing,
yes,
but her forgiving him is a whole different ball game,
whole
because
different.
I am here to protect my children and my grandchildren, and you are coming in and you are on my space, you are in my, you are encompassing on my territory,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have come, and I'm just, no, because it is in the protector in you that you want to come back at that person. But I think that says a great deal about who she is, you
Yes,
know.
and doctor. Now, see, you had my grandmother, you had my mother, and then you had me, uh, and my sister threw in there too. And we won't talk about her because she was, But I don't think my sister, but
I got one
my,
too.
she went for it. She did, Hey, but my mother, she didn't forgive as like my grandmother taught. She didn't forgive, and I believe that I do believe that she would have probably hurt him, and But it was that grandmother that brought the healing by the grace of God, brought the healing not only to me, but to the family. Because the healing had to come through the whole family, because my mother felt like that she didn't protect me. And guilt was on her because she took her baby. She felt like she took her baby into danger.
Well, I think that unforgiveness, whenever we project, I think we're projecting what we feel on the inside, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
so she didn't forgive herself, so she was
yes,
unable to forgive whoever was coming at her. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So, it's just like putting the oxygen mask on yourself. You have to heal, you have to forgive yourself in order to be able to forgive that next person. So that may
And
explain it very well.
you're exactly right. Because, and even though I was young, you're so right. Because even though I was young too, and my mother was dealing with this issue of not forgiving herself, then it comes to me. I'm thinking, oh, what did I do to cause this? What did I say? How did I act? How did I move? What did I have on? Was it something that I did? And I dealt with this for so very long. I mean, doing even at a young age, by me following my grandmother around so much, and because she was very active in church community, and had me doing stuff in the church, ushering and being the delegate. I don't even know whether they do that anymore now. Delegate for conferences and stuff at a young age. But doing all of that and broken on the inside, trying to figure out what did I do to make this happen. Speaking at a young age, hurt, broken. What did I do? It had to be me. I had to do something. And even as I grew into my teenage years, it was still there, even in relationships. It not only in intimate relationships, but even with relationships, girlfriends and things. If we had any kind of issue, I always felt it had to be me that caused it. It was something that I did, and that was transferred over from that childhood experience.
Yes, I love how you have done the forgiving work for yourself in order
Yes.
to be able to do the forgiving work for him. Now, what is one characteristic that every leader should possess, and why?
Oh my God, transparency.
Ah,
Yeah, yes. It's imperative that you be transparent, because listen, if you can't be true with yourself and who you are, you definitely can't be true with anybody else, because you have a way of showing your genuine self. If you're not transparent, I'm probably gonna know it. I believe that I'm probably going to know it, because you're going to come off in a way that's just not real, just not genuine. It's just something about, how you say, people say, I can't put my
finger on it.
but it's something. So I would say that transparency is definitely the character that every leader, anywhere, no matter what you're leading, mothers, anyone, any kind of leader, need to possess.
And it takes the fear out of leadership, I think, because what happens is that if I tell you what my flaws are, if I tell you what the problems are, then you have nothing to hold against me. You can't come back and say, well, this happened to that person, or this,
Yes.
she did this, because
Yes.
you have nothing. I've already told you. I've
Yes.
already forgiven myself for what I've done. So I'm good.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. I love it.
Beautiful.
So, what are some of the resources that you use to ensure that you're growing and developing in leadership?
Some of the resources I use, first and foremost, would be the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You know I was going to say that, didn't you?
Me too.
That's my first resource. And we talked about being transparent a while ago. That's my first resource. My second resource, I use a lot of John Maxwell leadership tools. A lot of them, every one I can get. So that'll be number 2. Number 3, the Bible. So, I always
sandwich John Maxwell in the middle.
yes. And then the corporate transcendence, which was birthed by my very own CEO, Chief Encouragement Officer Pam Tripp. That'll be a resource that I definitely use and has helped me grow in my professional, but not only in my professional and my personal life as well. And last, but certainly not least, the Bible.
I love it. I love it. Pam and John Maxwell in the middle, and then the Bible.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the strategies that you use to encourage your staff during COVID?
Well, we're going to say that obey the laws of the land. That's one of the straight, because you have to obey the laws of the land, and that's to wear your mask and stay 6 foot apart. We that's the first thing you have to establish here, to obey the laws of the land. Okay, and stay focused on who you are, and not only who you are, but whose you are, because it's going to be the whose you are that's going to get you through this time of COVID. And last but not least, that, and I think this is the one of the most important ones, that it's no big I's and no little U's, that we're all in this together. COVID sees no race, it sees no gender, and it sees no religion, and it travels internationally. So we're all in this together. So let's get through this together. So that would be 3 of the strategies that I use.
And I think that, I to this day, I still don't understand the whole not wearing the mask thing. But I think that one of the things that is very clear for me is that, if I, as you say, obey the laws of the land, right? If I take, advice from people who are smarter than I am, then what happens is I, don't feel guilty if I bring it home to my family, because I've done what I could do in order to prevent the spread of it. And there's Facebook users who are saying great points and awesome strategies. So look at that. I love it. I can't see who they are, but yes, we'll see after we get off. So now, how do you define success?
Oh, wow. Now, you asked me how I define it now. So you have to realize you're talking to a doctor of divinity. So it's going to be a little different. Yes. So I define success, as discipline, honesty, loyalty, and love. Why? Because you have to have instructions. You have to be disciplined in this life. You have to hear somebody, and someone is always going to be over you. So that leads to a successful life. Honesty, you have to be true. Just tell the truth and get it over with. Just like you tell the truth, there's nothing else to tell. That's success. Loyalty, you have to be loyal to the cause. Whatever your cause is, it may not be the same cause as mine, but whatever your cause is, you have to be loyal to the cause. That defines success. And last but not least, love. You have to love beyond common sense. That's the key. You hear what I said? I said you got to love beyond common sense.
That's right.
Because common sense going to tell you to walk away, give it up, go in the tower, be done. I'm done. I'm through. I'm not doing this no more. But you got to love beyond common sense, beyond what you can see, beyond what makes sense. That's success. That's success wrapped up in a box with a gorgeous bow. And I'm just imploring everyone that's listening to me today, take the bow off. Take the box off, the top off the box. Open that box and be the true you, who God has called you to be.
Sweet. I love it. I love it. And I love that love beyond common sense for sure. Because sometimes it don't make sense to keep loving these folks.
What you talking about? Sometimes it makes absolutely no sense. You have to go to God and say, God, now you really want me to do this? Because I can just handle it and get it on out the way.
That's right. But love, that's how he loves us. He loves us in that very way, right? Unconditionally. And that has to go across the board. And you don't have to have them in your space all the time. And it depends on who it is, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
Loving them through it all. I love you. I don't have to, we don't have to hang out with each other, right?
And probably not. And probably not.
But I still love you, right?
Yeah, and that's called agape.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. Now, how do you define wealth?
Again, you're asking a doctor of divinity. So when I looked at wealth, one time I read that currency, money is called currency because it is energy and power. So then when I read that, I said, wow, so I would define wealth, me, Maria Regina Gainey, would define wealth as power to transform people's lives. That's me. That's wealth. That's riches to me. That makes me feel rich. That is my wealth. Being able to see a person's life over here when you meet them, and then them being transformed, because God has endowed you by His grace and mercy to pull on strengths that's been embedded in them, and nobody took the time. No one took the time to work with them. Many people are in their graves with strengths that never been developed.
That's right.
Many people have went to their grave, and I thank God that He has endowed me and trusted me enough to be able to transform people's lives by His grace and mercy, and bring their strengths to fruition. That defines wealth to me. That makes me wealthy. Have you ever heard I'm in a wealthy place? I'm in a wealthy place because that defines wealth to me.
And and the thing about it is that it not only transforms that person's life, but it transforms their children's lives. It just from generations to generations to generations to generations, and that and this leaving that legacy, right?
Yes,
that is so.
Yes,
that is so good. Well, thank you, Dr. Gainey, for joining us this morning. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce, owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be wealthy in all areas of their lives. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome, so that you know that the possibilities are endless. You can follow us on Twitter at The Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing, and if you are watching on YouTube, don't you forget to hit that subscribe button, and please share this video. We have a group called The Nurse Nurturer on Facebook that you can join to receive uplifting content for healthcare professionals. You can also visit us at our website at V as in Victor, P as in Paul, nursing.com.